Hello, everyone. This is the Three Gigs. It's three guys in glasses minus one. Usually it's Jim who represents the general contractor, Paul, myself, that represents the subcontractor, and Craig representing the owner. Today, in this short, we're going to talk about general contractor and subcontractor coordination meetings.
And I'm going to be the contractor.
Yeah, Craig's going to be the general contractor today,
Right.
in Jim's absence.
Because I have been and will always be a general contractor at heart.
At heart, that's right. So we talk about general contractor, subcontractor coordination meetings and the purpose of them. What is it? Why do we have one? Why bother?
Coordination. I start out with a schedule that my office created 2 months before we ever started the project. That schedule is then tweaked by me. I do my best to kind of figure out what it's going to be as the superintendent, my office project manager. We have a schedule. Now we're starting to work the schedule. Maybe we've engaged the subs in that, and maybe we haven't. But the reality is once a week, we need to sit down with all the key subs so that everybody can be efficient and we're all on the same page.
Okay, so that's the old foreman's meeting that I would get invited to.
That would be the
that's
same.
It. Okay,
yeah,
I got
that's
it.
right.
So who is invited to the meeting?
It revolves around what we would call a 3-week look-ahead schedule. It's the work that's happening this week. It's the work that's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Some companies will push it out to 4 or 5 weeks in terms of who's going to be involved. But it's the subcontractors who are working right now or the subcontractors who are getting ready to mobilize to come in, and there's going to be handoffs. And so we want this to be coordinated. Right. Once a week, we sit down and we have this discussion.
Right. So we review the 3-week look-ahead schedule to kind of melt those all together, and then we coordinate the trades that are on the site at that time or that will be coming on.
Right.
And then we're going to, at this meeting, this is a really great opportunity for us to address any field issues that are going on at the closest level. So foremen, superintendents are the type that are going to be in this meeting and engaged fully. Safety, obviously.
Yep. Right? Always, we will always have a safety component to this meeting.
Site logistics. I mean, everything from housekeeping to access to major events that might be happening that will impact productivity of any of the trades that might be coming on. And then on the administrative level, we're probably also going to have to talk about any outstanding RFIs, any submittals that are problematic, any contract issues at the field level, so at kind of a basic level. Right.
The foreman's going to say, "Hey, I'm supposed to start on the pool, but we still don't have an answer as to a mechanical question. It's in the submittal. It's an RFI. I don't have anything back, and if I don't get it back by tomorrow morning, I'm stopped."
Right. Good. So, what makes a really good meeting?
Regularity. Most, I think, companies do once a week, same day, same time. I always wanted them a day or two before my meeting with the owner and the architects, because this was critical information for me to really understand where we are at the moment, and if there are any issues or problems that I can then articulate to my owner-architect meeting that occurs.
So then I need to have the right people in the room. So that would be another thing that would make a great meeting.
The people who are there have got to be able to know what they're doing. So foreman level, certainly. And ideally, as problems come up, that they're able to make a decision and they're able to commit. Yeah, we can start that tomorrow instead of on Friday. If not, out of that meeting, everybody needs to go and get their answers and get back to me by 10 o'clock.
Or if the team would have known that, then the invitation to an executive to come in, or a higher level manager like a project manager to come in and be a part of that. And then I'm going to say, in addition to that, what would make a really great meeting is to make sure that the general contractor superintendent, i.e. you, would be able to facilitate this meeting, to
Right.
be able to be a good facilitator, to identify where the problem areas might be, to avoid the traps that we'll talk about in just a
These
minute.
are tricky meetings. People, you got 2, 5, 10 businesses, and that foreman is getting their message from the home office, which is productivity, 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 profit, profit, profit. We're not here to give away our work.
Exactly.
So you've got that many people sitting around the table. They all have their own agenda. They all have their own very specific schedule. Most of the time, those schedules were done by the subs without the benefit of everybody else's schedule. So there inevitably are going to be conflicts. There's going to be you're in my way. And if that superintendent is not skilled in being able to facilitate a meeting to negotiate what's got to be negotiated, they can be rough meetings.
Exactly. So what should we do to ensure that we don't have what we might call an ugly meeting? I mean, how can we ensure that we get the best meeting? So the traps that we might try to avoid?
Yeah, well, from my perspective, running these things, I don't need crazy makers.
Okay.
If you're going to come in and just you knew about something yesterday, but I'm going to wait till the superintendent meeting, and then hey. Boom!
Bang,
here you go.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong with that, right?
Now everybody scatters.
Right.
I mean, mentally you're scattered.
Right.
We have to solve this problem. This isn't a big problem-solving meeting. This is a flush out problems, and then there will be other meetings to get those things taken care of. So
just make sure they aren't too long then.
1 hour max.
Right.
Because everybody's got to go to work.
Sure, absolutely. And if at the end of that meeting we all feel that everything is on a path to resolution, then the meeting is successful.
Right.
Right. So we want to try to avoid that the bad facilitator that can't make that happen.
Yep. Company, the general contractor should make sure that superintendent knows how to run a meeting.
Right. And conversely, everyone who's invited should come prepared as well.
Absolutely. You got to know what you can do and what you can't do. If something is going to be late, you've got to be able to articulate where you are. And it's a 2-minute download, but 2-minute downloads times 10 people, that can eat up time.
Exactly. And then, of course, the standard rules for meetings, right? No sidebar discussions. Let's keep it right here. Let's keep it on. Make sure that your cell phones are off and that you're not, responding to radio communications in the room. Make sure that the hidden agendas are left, out of this meeting.
Out of the meeting.
Right, exactly. And then just common courtesy.
Take it over by the porta potty and work
exactly.
it out.
Yeah, and then common courtesy. So there we have it. A GC sub-coordination meeting, weekly, short, to the point, effective. The great benefits is that we actually do get to coordinate the efforts. We get to ensure the schedule, and we get tighter working relationships within the team.
When everybody leaves that meeting, they may not know exactly how things are going to work out or solve, but they walk out and they know, okay, over the next 2 or 3 days, these are the things we got to work out.
Right.
And then they have to work it out.
And some donuts don't help, some donuts are helpful well.
Yeah, there's nothing like a sugar high to get a meeting going right.
Very good. All right, that's us, 3 gigs. Make sure you watch for the long version of this, and we'll see you next time around.
Bye-bye.